Welcome everybody, it is the 22nd of May. It has been 2 days after my best friend's birthday and 2 days out towards his wedding, and so I've prepared all of the gifts today for his wife and for him, both for his birthday and for his wedding. And so now we're gonna go soon, after an hour and a half more of client work, to jiu-jitsu practice, and before that we're gonna stop by the gift store, which is right en route, and get some paper and some one of these decoration little thingies that you put on top, and then we have done it another year. And this year is even more important because he has his wedding also, 33 years old. Jesus also started his ministry at 33. I got another 3 years until that comes to pass for me. And so it is the good number. And so with that, let us go to our calendar and not throw my voice so much, but just be ready and excited to go look at my calendar and recap the day, keeping the flow of the conversation going. So we're gonna do Google. All right, here, so a new window, and we're gonna take a look at our calendar. So we've started today at about 5:30, after I stayed awake yesterday until 11:30. We did half an hour of communication, and then I have to honestly say I went back to bed for 2 hours because the next client call was scheduled at 9 a.m. So I got back to bed between 6:30 and 8 for like another hour and a half. It was just necessary today. Listening to some dispenser meditations and just kind of recharging and letting my brain kind of rewind and recharge again. Although that's not ideal, I could have rather slept at night, but on the other hand, I was very productive last night with all of that. And so yeah, sometimes it is not perfect, but it is beautiful. All together, it is so beautiful. Yeah, hey. Es ist so leicht. If you don't know what to do, just go and make a video. Yeah, and then afterwards, we were meant to have the client call, but she said she was suffering from a migraine today, which is very unfortunate. But fortunately, this is also a very lightweight kind of monthly subscription type of coaching, which is not that problematic. If we've skipped a few calls because she feels very well supported, and I know that tonight and Friday I will be doing all of this client work and be able to catch up with all of the people that we're catching up with, which is great. And tomorrow we are going to have a call with another client, which is tremendous. So let's go take a look at the calendar here. Oh, es ist so leicht, so fun and easy. Es ist leicht. Ja, hey, yo, learning how to express myself without bursting into tears or into Zorn, which is the German word for anger, but we're not bursting, we're just floating and flowing and making a video whenever I'm feeling just a little bit overwhelmed, or just a little bit feeling the pressure inside, getting into thought patterns and thinking and all of that, and making the priority to do YouTube videos as well every single day. And everything is growing, the channels and my skill set, and everything is growing, and it is beautiful, and the network and the connections and the strength of our relations, it's all growing and on a good trajectory. It is so beautiful. And so I'm probably going to ask him, getting up tomorrow directly at 6. One more time, asking him whether he would be willing to do that, and scheduling the call with Manoj. One more time. Es ist easy, I can just relax because all of this behavior is being filmed and published on camera, behaving like the leader that I am. Es ist so leicht, so fun and easy. And so what else has happened? So in the morning we have we have set the appointment with the other person that I'm talking to for next week, which is great. We've gotten back to for another lead. Somebody texted us on LinkedIn, was a recommendation for my best friend Austin. Somebody with like 50,000 followers on LinkedIn. He's just hitting me up for looking for a phone appointment setter, and I'm like, yeah, always text me. I'm the guy who knows people. That's exactly who I am and who I'm making myself out to be. But it took me some years to understand the learnings and the workings of the human psyche and the workings of life, so I needed to isolate myself, and now we do proper relationship building. That is who I am and what I'm here to do in this lifetime. Thank you very much. And so 1, 2, 3, 4 client calls mañana. Super easy. Sparing between 7 and 9. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Well, the talking already helps me. You know, whenever I get stuck in my head and I get a little bit tired in the afternoon, and it could be the food, but I also don't think it is, just this emotional tiredness of not sharing enough. And so I'm finding the way how to flow between the inner work and the deep work and the client work. And so the things that we still want to do, I'd have to do. Oh, es ist so leicht, is writing the client's email for the campaign, for the launch of his community. It is easy. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to send over the proposal to the person that we're talking to. And so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to take my shirt off and I'm going to do a little bit of some 10-minute exercise. And then I'm going to put my shirt back on, or just like a jacket, so I'm not here naked in front of the camera, or at least topless. I would never be naked on camera. I would not do that. But at least not topless. And then continue with this video, and then we just cycle through, because that was another learning that I've made. It's like, I do not need to be so forceful and so black and white of like, I need to finish the task 100% all of the time, always, every time. Because I'm still learning to basically do the right things, right? To do all of the right things. To do just all of the right things, and it is easy. It is so leicht and easy. All right, because we can flow in between. It's so good that I've let go of the Instagram and posting on LinkedIn, and all I gotta do between Saturday and Sunday is sending some few connection requests out, and then we've done that also, and then we're already at 2,500 followers on LinkedIn. Can you believe that? Time accumulates, and I just let the digital assets accumulate, and it's all great. And the leadership behavior is coming effortlessly out of me, and it's great. And so I'm going to read through a few of my notes, which are giving me the prompts here. And so yeah, I will send the proposal tonight, and then tomorrow is the last day of these client calls. It's easy. Super easy. We're gonna have one community business session probably on Friday. It always is. And we're gonna dial in the systems for next week, clarify everything that I want to be doing. It is so nice and easy. All of it is so nice and easy, right? And we're gonna just collect all of the testimonials. I've been spreading the word already to a few people about testimonials and everything else. And for now, I've just got to really say, I'm just going to get back to everybody that I've not gotten back to. and just convert the current leads that I've got. Because if I do that well, I probably add another, I definitely think there might be at least one out of those three, which is great. Or maybe even three out of those three, which would be even better, because the offer is really great. So I'm just going to work on all of that. The client calls tomorrow, one friendly call tomorrow as well. Just help the people out. Help the people out. Helping the people out. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And so what I was meaning to say right now is that I realized, man, when I'm like stressed, my nose is just but it's all good. It's all good. We got one more afternoon and one more day, and then it's already the wedding day of like, man, being around people all day and just relaxing. And for a lot of people are like, what the heck are you talking about? That sounds like stress. I'm like, this is what I live for. This is what I live for. It's like being around people. It's like going to a wedding, like what? Like I can do this every fucking day of the week. It's like, that would be amazing. You know? Have internet on my phone, you know, like get it there and just text people on my phone. It's like it's all easy. Because I'm a professional coach and I'm building myself this life of my dreams. And I'm consulting people on these digital systems, automations, and business processes. And I also realized today that I was learning so much on a daily basis, which is great here on my daily recap, right? And so I've been learning today that so I've realized today that I've been learning so much about like business processes and marketing and persuasion, and that I truly have become a knowledge worker and applying and learning all of these high-level persuasion concepts, which are absolutely 100% in alignment with my path of leadership that I'm meant to be walking. And I'm so glad that I've created and manifested this life by never giving up and by always, living below my means and making sure I've had enough. I've made it through 10 years, man, without earning a dime. That's great. And so now it's time to, and I am already earning more than I need to pay for my rent every single month. And I'm like, this is great. Now I only have still not quite enough to cover the food, but I'm also being owed still. So like we're pivoting it easily into that. And so if these other three clients come to pass, and then I have like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like man, 6 like really decent leads that just keep talking to me, and there's like very minimal effort. I don't even need to overextend myself or over explain myself, or like they all want to work with me and they appreciate the value that I am giving them by the hard work that I'm putting in here every day of making myself into the speaker that I'm meant to be in this lifetime. Isn't it great? And so I went through this week and I've gotten through the obstacles of this one client work that was challenging. And so sometimes you realize that it is not quite so easy as to do all of that. And so now, alright, so now I realize, alright here, that we are going to write the email, via speech to text, the email campaign for the school community. That stimulates the thinking, I like that. And making some sounds. I had this spiritual teacher in Germany who was like all about making sounds and letting your emotion, and making sounds to activate your emotions. But what I liked about him, he wasn't a shithead. So he was like a university-trained psychologist, diploma in psychology from way back in the 90s, and a trained and certified psychotherapist, on top of being an awake spiritual teacher. And so I appreciated that. And so he was all about just in order to wake up, we gotta like loosen these emotions that are stuck in us that we don't want to face. And it is important because for us to really be able to sink into the center, below the surface of the emotions, as this great Jewish teacher said, you know, when they were going on the boat on the lake, and people think it was the sea, but if you read one of those 4 books, they say it was a lake. And so there are not waves like that on a lake. I was recently at the most windy, highest, largest lake on the world, at the Titicaca Lake. And you, even though the wind blows like crazy, you don't get waves like you get on the ocean. It just doesn't happen like that. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, what's really important is to understand that maybe he wasn't talking about the waves. Maybe he was talking about the waves of emotions. That you want to be calmed in and let yourself sink like he was, just sleeping, resting. And you just rest, you stay in your center, you let yourself be pulled through this inner process, through this threshold of fear where you feel like your breathing stops. That's how it always feels for me when these kind of processes happen to me. You feel like your breathing stops, you just let yourself sink through that, and you reach the ground of existence, and then you've woken up. It's a pretty simple process, but you gotta face the fear of dying, which I haven't yet done so far. But I was also busy with all kinds of other things, so this is great. And I do think that having gotten the lessons of purity before that process was very interesting and likewise important to learn these lessons in that sequence. What is that shit here on the thingy, on the chair? Well, nothing is ripping apart. Everything is staying silent and healthy. And so, yeah, so these have been being a professional speaker, the learnings of today. And so then we had the live work, then we had we went back and made the proposal, which we're going to do right now, of one of the people that would love to have a collaboration with me, and I do think I can sell even more clarity packages to not only him, but also the other people on the organization for like not only $97, but $77 per month, just helping them stay clear with digital organization and organization of meetings, because what I'm doing all day is having meetings, and I can translate or like to my goodness, man, am I tense today. I can explain that in the way that it makes sense to them for like not $97 but $77. And yeah, I realized that the person yesterday basically also said to me, oh, this is very affordable, which is much better to hear than this is too expensive. That's currently my mindset of like, I don't want to be told no, mommy, no, right? But on the other hand, that's not the right approach, right? To rather charge so low that it's so ridiculously cheap in order to not be told no. But on the other hand, coming from that kind of place where I'm currently coming from, where things feel kind of very challenging, yeah, it makes sense to do that. But on the other hand, that is also what would definitely end the challenging part, but also, yeah, just more testimonials, more customer feedback. And so I'm getting this already. I have a Trustpilot account set up, and I've got that Senya.io testimonial account set up, and I'm in all of the best communities of the top people in this space, which is absolutely great. And so I'm going to own that I'm going to swim here with big fish who are all friends of mine, but we also hold each other to a higher standard, and I'm holding myself also to a higher standard of this aggressive kind of mindset of knowing that I am already good enough, and I'm already good enough to charge high prices, or at least higher prices. Part of me wants to say is like, okay, yesterday would have been a great opportunity to charge $197 per month. for that same kind of service, because then I would have already been out of trouble. But on the other hand, what would have happened if he did say no, right? But on the other hand, if he did say yes, then all of the food would have instantly been paid for already. So that would have also been a great opportunity. But on the other hand, it's all right. I can even if he says no, I'm just going to provide him with work. I'm going to make something happen for him, bringing him a project, getting compensated for that. And yeah. Yeah, the same way as the other guy was like, can you give me 8% of that? And my voice went like way up. And he's like, sure, let's do 15. And then I was like, well, I want to take it long term. And then he was like, well, me too, but like at least 50. He was probably thinking, well, you dickhead, everybody else gets 30. You're asking for 8. Anyways, but hey, I'm loving myself through the entire process and I'm making these learnings and it's all good. It is all good. I know that I have value inside of myself and I know that I have now some experience of some months under my belt and it will just get better the more I'm stepping forward. And the better I'm getting. And so yeah, I'm organizing myself, I'm getting the calendar set up, I'm having my CRM system with the meeting notes and all of that, just being able to properly articulate the meeting notes. And so I'm going to pick for myself good people who have these great capacities with the AI systems between dashboards and appointment setters and videos, explanation videos. Oh, just being myself does not mean to behave like a dork. But it's all good. And so yeah. Yeah, man, it's easy. I realize how much I love the talking much more than the doing. But the talking is also doing. Is it not? But obviously there's got to be an element of doing so that the talking has some substance and some foundation to it. And so later tonight, later tonight we're going to confirm all of the calls here. It's so fun and easy, and even if this one lead does not come together, I can always reactivate him. Right? What I'm saying is like, I'm really only taking like 15 clients. I got 12 already. It's like, it's only 97 per month currently. It's like, if you want in, you can in. If not, then you can hire somebody else, but see if you find somebody else who can really help you with it. Also for this price point. It's like, you're not going to be able to get me for this price only like for the rest of this year. And so yeah, I am filling up with 15 clients, and then I'm also already going to have, man, $1,370, man. This is absolutely tremendous. Absolutely tremendous, man. $1,370. Filling up with 10 clients. So yeah, all I gotta do is just survive for like a few more months. Soon enough it's gonna be July, then we're gonna get our visa for like another year, and by the time that year is up, I should already be able to pay for like the rest, the next visa. But that is all a story for a different day, and it's easy. It's so easy. And so yeah, with all of that being said, we're going to have 4 calls tomorrow and one community call. We're going to use the time in between to pack the gifts, which is absolutely great, and practice the speech, I guess. We're also going to do that in between. And so for that reason, it is absolutely important and crucial that we right now get the email and the proposal done. All right, so this is how I'm clearing my mind, how I'm clearing my thought, and how I'm learning how to capacitate, communicate, how to embellish and improve my capacity for speech, my capacity for communication. Capacitation for participation. Precipitation, that which precedes, is that which recedes. Receipt and invoice and money in the bank. And that's what we're manifesting every single week going forward. Thank you so much for this being the first week where I'm working with a professional calendar, writing out my schedule each day and just getting better at being there for my clients and supporting them in the goals that they have, and growing myself, being organized. And I'm learning so much from each of my clients as well, because when you're serving, there is no nervous when you're in service, right? Because there is no nervous when you're in service. It's just pure light. Bit of anxiety, but like it's really up to us to like reframe that as like, am I like anxious, or am I just, anticipatory vigilance? Anticipatory vigilance, or is it just adrenaline, right? Like, are we really anxious, or is it just adrenaline because we are looking forward to it? Ja, es ist so leicht. Yeah, I'm chewing less and less coca, which is also great so that my teeth can recover and my gums. And learning how to utilize all of this energy every single day. Burn away the impurities. Man, alright, and let's go. With this beautiful and spontaneous self-expression that Mr. George, who is also one of the, I've completely forgotten him. I can also charge him. And he said, man, I also told him about the testimony. I'm like, my fucking goodness, I want to be really able to set up my systems from next week onwards to just get testimonials in by everybody. But like this week, what's really has been most important was like the actual client work. And it's all good. And so I'm usually looking forward to jiu-jitsu, and I really do today as well. Oh man, be kind to your face. And so we have another 45 minutes. Let's read through the learnings. 521. So even when you're judging others, like no sense of purpose, you still manifest these thoughts because they remind you of your own purpose or not. It's like you were speaking this over yourself. So I realized that I oftentimes have a very kind of judgmental kind of thought patterns on me when I'm seeing like these people here who are like, sometimes it's like a caricature. They look so crazy bad. It's just crazy, with the fucking fat ass belly hanging out under the shirt. And like faces that just look like they are stuffing themselves with this fucking poison every day. And like, My fucking goodness. Sitting on the phone is like some of the people here, man, you have no idea how the people look here. Absolutely fucking peasant behavior. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, on the other hand, that's exactly what drew me here, right? Like 3 years ago, I was like, man, I'm doing so bad. It's like finally a place where I won't be judged, where I can just fucking rest and land and do my thing. And so I did. And I looked inside of myself and I figured out the things one by one. I've entangled them, but now that I'm moving up, I'm like, oh man, these people have such low standards here. It's like crazy. It's like you see people here on the streets like fucking picking the dirt under their fingernails and looking there, and then they put that onto their pants and they look a little bit, some fucking dog fucking each other, you know, picking their nose a little bit, and then they're like, And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. This is really crazy. Yeah, absolute, nothing going on. Yeah, and they don't see that there will be massive repercussions for that. Judgment. But yeah, we gotta see, right? So, and that's why we're here. And so, yeah, so we're gonna help people and it's gonna be alright. And so at least nobody's gonna starve. We have like bananas growing all around here. And so it's all good. But yeah, man, it's crazy. And so yeah, so if I go around like judging, of like these thoughts seem to come into my mind, right? It's like you go around, it's like no purpose at all. It's like, man, these people, or like the thoughts like that, where I'm like, I know it's a reflection of myself, I know it's a projection in the way that I judge in the other person, but I'm actually judging in myself, which is a psychological function that helps me understand, or rather it is an externalization of this one inner process that that makes it externalized so that we get to look at it. Okay, second, making an email with a calendar link of mine and an image of me pointing to the link and the text to the left of the image. Yeah, that was one of the ideas that came to me like in a vision while I was laying on the bed. And so like in previous years, I never wrote any of those thoughts down. I just thought, I'm gonna remember all of this in some weird way. And part of it, I did remember obviously, but like part of it was also, I was just so tired of like, just did not even have the concentration to write things out. I also realized like I was yesterday like crossing the street. And one of these great insights came in, where I realized it sounded so clear in my own head. And then I was trying to write it out. Didn't come out that clearly. And so I always thought in the past years of, it's just going to be okay, because I can think so clearly, I can then also talk so clearly. That's what I always thought, because I was like obsessing about like my live seminars and the content for all of that and such. And it did not always just come out in just exactly the same quality. And so yes, little factors accumulate, they all go together. Chemicals, noise, sounds, environment, mirror neurons. And yeah, I wrote in brackets, don't even behold the poor, because you feel the same feelings and inner states that led to poor behavior. It is energetically and neurologically contagious. It is. And so yeah, with that you understand why like the upper class in earlier centuries, they guarded the children from beholding the poor. Because you look at them and you're like, man, it's like walking around with like crutches, limping and rags, and like with faces that just scream of all these impure and negative suffering kind of thoughts. It's like you physically transform based on the thoughts that you think and based on your behavior and how you're feeling every day. And so that's why professionals look the way that they do. That's why managers look the way that they do. And that's also why sending connection requests on LinkedIn is very important for me, because I do realize these, how the facial features of a true professional look. And so you can tell of the inner state by looking at somebody's face. not physiognomically, of like, if you have this line here, that usually means that, like hand reading. No, I don't mean that, but it's like, you can tell if the person has certain qualities by just the vibe, the aura, the energy that is emitted through the face, right? And so then getting outside of oneself, when we are inside of ourselves, we look more for sexual fulfillment, and it is ugly. We dislike our people who have not yet fully figured this out and overcome it. But on the other hand, it is also hard to do. That's why it's binary. We respect leaders fully who have figured it out, and we dislike leaders who are struggling with it. Moral sufficiency, which means sexual discipline and the repentance of the acts of the past, that I probably would have to repent for like 5 years, for the 10 years and more or less of more or less sin until the end of the decade. And I'm willing to do that. Right? That's the repentance. Living celibate and with moral integrity, and not whining because it's so hard. Because the reason why it's hard, it's good. That's the way how I can gain people's respect. Because that's the one part of leadership of like, okay, what are all the components that make you interesting? And so for me, everything that goes between, ayahuasca, personal development, semen retention, the Bible, right, celibacy, marketing, these powerful AI system, organization, cleaning up one's life, right, healing work, all of this psychological knowledge about the human psyche and human influence, all of that can be scaled to as far as I want to take it, really, And so I'm 30 now. Let's see how far we can take this, right? And so it's always the case. Like I do my thing until I don't anymore, and so that's what life's always been, right? You do your thing until you die, and so when that's gonna be, sooner or later, I'm doing what I'm doing here and leveling up and going forward and getting better at human persuasion and influence and leadership, and I'm gonna do that until I don't anymore. And so yeah. And so now 5:19. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna take stop, lift some weights, and then we 37 minutitos. All right. So and then we are going to easily write the email.